Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to Wealth and Wisdom. Today we continue to discuss the rise of the Mongol Empire. The Mongol Empire was started by Genghis Khan, who united the various feudal tribes of Mongolia and became the supreme leader. Genghis Khan was born in north-central Mongolia and named Temujin. He was born 1162 in a Mongol tribe near Burkan Khaldan Mountain and the Onan and Kurlan rivers in modern-day Mongolia, not far from the capital Ulaanbaatar. According to the Secret History of the Mongols, a contemporary account of Mongol history, his birth was auspicious because he came into the world holding a clot of blood in his hand, a sign in Mongol folklore that he was destined to become a leader. His mother, Holan, taught him the grim reality of living in turbulent Mongol tribal society and the need for alliances. His father Yesuke was part of the Borjigin clan and Holan was from the Olkhunut tribe. Because his father was a chieftain, as were his predecessors, Temujin was of a noble background. This relatively higher social standing made it easier for him to solicit help and eventually consolidate the other Mongol tribes. When Temujin was 9, his father took him to live with the family of his future bride, Bort. On the return trip home, Yesuke encountered members of the rival Tartar tribe, who invited him to a conciliatory meal, where he was poisoned for past transgressions against the Tartars. Upon hearing of his father's death, Temujin returned home to claim his position as clan chief. However, the clan refused to recognize the young boy's leadership and ostracized his family of younger brothers and half-brothers to near refugee status. The pressure on the family was great, and in a dispute over the spoils of a hunting expedition, Temujin quarreled with and killed his half-brother Bekta, confirming his position as head of the family. At this time, none of the tribal confederations of Mongolia were united politically, and arranged marriages were often used to solidify temporary alliances. Temujin grew up observing the tough political climate of Mongolia, which included tribal warfare, thievery, raids and acts of revenge carried out between the various confederations, all instigated by foreign forces such as the Chinese dynasties in the south. At 16, Temujin married Bort, cementing the alliance between the Conquerors tribe and his own. Soon after, Bort was kidnapped by the rival Merkit tribe and given to a chieftain as a wife. Temujin began his slow ascent to power by offering himself as an ally to his father's blood brother Wang Khan. Blood brother means that they weren't real brothers, but because of their close friendship, one person's problem becomes the other's as well. This relationship was reinforced when Bort was captured. In response, Wang Khan offered him his warriors and suggested that he also involve his childhood friend Jamukha, who had himself become Khan, ruler of his own tribe. The campaign was successful and led to the recapture of Bort and utter defeat of the Merkits. It also paved the way for the split between the childhood friends, Temujin and Jamukha. Temujin had become blood brother with Jamukha earlier, and they had vowed to remain loyal to each other. Their split resulted because Temujin rewarded ability and loyalty. One of his most promising warriors was Subodai, the son of a humble herdsman. But this attitude flew in the face of Mongol tradition. Jamukha's noble birth led him to believe that high rank should be reserved only for Mongol aristocrat, but now his blood brother was throwing out the old ways. In the battle against Jamukha, Temujin practiced psychological warfare. He knew his blood brother would have scouts, so he told each of his men to light 5 fires, who in turn told Jamukha that they witnessed more warriors than there were stars in the sky. The early success of the Mongol army owed much to the brilliant military tactics of Genghis Khan and his understanding of his enemies' motivations. He employed an extensive spy network and was quick to adopt new technologies from his enemies. The Mongol army became well-trained fighters under the leadership of Genghis Khan. They coordinated their advance with a sophisticated signaling system of smoke and burning torches. Large drums sounded commands to charge, and further orders were conveyed with flag signals. Every soldier was fully equipped with bow, arrows, shield, and dagger. The entire army was followed by a well-organized supply system of ox carts carrying food, as well as military equipment, shamans for spiritual and medical aid, and officials to catalogue the booty. Following the victories over the rival Mongol tribes, other tribal leaders agreed to peace and bestowed on Temujin the title of Genghis Khan, which means universal ruler. The title carried not only political importance, but also spiritual significance. The leading shaman declared Genghis Khan the representative of the eternal blue sky, the supreme god of the Mongols. With this declaration of divine status, it was accepted that his destiny was to rule the world. Religious tolerance was practiced in the Mongol Empire, but to defy the great Khan was equal to defying the will of God. It was with such religious fervor that Genghis Khan is supposed to have said to one of his enemies, "I am the flail of God. If you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you." Genghis Khan wasted no time in capitalizing on his divine stature. While spiritual inspiration motivated his armies, the Mongols were driven just as much by environmental circumstances. Food and resources were becoming scarce as the population grew. In 1211, Genghis Khan's armies struck the Jin dynasty in northern China, lured not by the great city's artistic and scientific wonders, but rather the seemingly endless rice fields and easy pickings of wealth. Although the campaign against the Jin dynasty lasted nearly 20 years, Genghis Khan's armies were also active in the west against border empires and the Muslim world. Initially, Genghis Khan used diplomacy to establish trade relations with the Khwarezm dynasty, a Turkish-dominated empire that included Turkestan, Persia, and Afghanistan. But the Mongol diplomatic mission was attacked by the governor of Otrar, who believed the caravan was a cover for a spy mission. When Genghis Khan heard of this disrespect, he demanded the governor be extradited to him and sent a diplomat to retrieve him. Shah Muhammad, the leader of the Khwarezm dynasty, not only refused the demand, but in defiance sent back the head of the Mongol diplomat. This act released a fury that would sweep through Central Asia and into Eastern Europe. In 1219, Genghis Khan personally took control of planning and executing a three-prong attack of 200,000 Mongol soldiers against the Khwarezm dynasty. The Mongols swept through every city's fortifications with unstoppable savagery. Those who weren't immediately slaughtered were driven in front of the Mongol army, serving as human shields when the Mongols attacked the next city. No living thing was spared, including small domestic animals and livestock. Skulls of men, women, and children were piled in large, pyramidal mounds. City after city was brought to its knees, and eventually the Shah Muhammad and later his son were captured and killed, bringing an end to the Khwarezm dynasty in 1221. Genghis Khan died in 1227. The exact reason is uncertain. Some historians believe he fell off a horse while hunting and died of fatigue and injuries. Genghis Khan was buried without markings according to the customs of his tribe, somewhere near his birthplace. Before his death, Genghis Khan bestowed supreme leadership to his son Agedei, who controlled most of Eastern Asia, including China. The rest of the empire was divided among his other sons: Chagatai, who took over Central Asia and northern Iran; Tolui, who being the youngest received a small territory near the Mongol homeland; and Jochi and his son, Batu, took control of modern Russia and formed the Golden Horde. The empire's expansion continued and reached its peak under Agedei Khan's leadership. His empire was 4 times the size of Alexander the Great's and twice the size of the Roman Empire. Genghis Khan died without having achieved what he believed was his destiny to conquer the entire world. His last words were to his children. He said, "I have conquered for you a large empire, but my life was too short to take the whole world that I leave to you." A century later, his mighty empire began to crumble. But not before it fought against all major Islamic states. The descendants of Genghis Khan continued in their endeavors to control the entire world. This self-endowed destiny brought the armies of the Mongol Empire to the doorsteps of the Abbasid Caliphate. We hope you enjoyed this series on the Mongol Empire. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.